We've headed 25 miles northeast of Charlotte to the city with a soul, Locust, North Carolina. Justine and her adopted daughter Morgan have stopped in for lunch at a local institution, the Old School Mills Fresh House.
Excuse me. Is that your baby?
Yes, it is.
Really? So are you married to a black man?
No, I'm not.
So you adopted her?
Yes.
You adopted a black baby on purpose?
Yes.
Are you one of these white women who are trying to rescue all the black babies?
Excuse me?
If you saw a diner react like this to a mother and her child,
I just don't think you're prepared to give her what she needs. You're white, she's black.
what would you do?
Excuse me, is that your child?
Yes.
So you adopted her?
These first customers are immediately aware of Rachel's uncomfortable line of questioning.
Do you have the option to choose a black baby or a white baby?
Yes.
Why would you do that?
And now they've got a few questions of their own.
Why do you think it's appropriate to speak to her in that manner?
Oh no, I'm just asking her a question about...
I heard what you asked.
The world's changing. Don't you feel like the world's changing, that we need to open ourselves up a little bit better than our little square box all the time?
Either you're a good person or you're a person who puts up barriers. Why should there be barriers to love of a child?
You're making everybody here feel very uncomfortable. You're picking on a white woman just because she has a black child? Isn't there more important things in this earth to worry about?
She's not gonna have the same experiences that a black family would have.
She's going to have a
hopefully-
childhood with someone who chose to love her. And I think that that is the most beautiful part of what I'm seeing over there.
I feel very uncomfortable. I felt
Agreed. Well, I apologize for making you feel uncomfortable. I just was looking out for this child.
No, you're not. No, you're not. This child can't defend herself. She's under 13. If she didn't have those ears on, I would call the police because this is brutality to a little child who's done nothing. But you sit there and you say, I just ask questions. I just ask questions. And the child is sitting there and you're telling her in front of her mother, what did you do to adopt this child? How dare you sit there and patronize anybody here? Please.
Hello there. Hello there. I'm John Quinones.
Oh, God.
This is
I'm
what-
sorry, I'm shaking so bad. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You realize the greater good that comes out of this?
Yes, we do. It's just, I've seen it. I saw it back in the 60s. It was horrible. I remember when the first black family moved in our neighborhood, and we were the only family that welcomed them. And all these people that we knew told us to get off the land. You and lovers, get off our land. We don't know you.
that?
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ramble on.
And that's why you have no tolerance for this.
No, I've been there.
An emotional reaction born from memories of racial intolerance. But would the reactions be different
Excuse me.
if it was an African-American woman criticizing our mother?
What are you, one of those white women trying to save all the black babies?
We bring in Giselle.
I feel like I see it all the time, white women trying to rescue black kids.
I'm not trying to rescue anyone. I don't see color in my family.
You might not see color, but believe me, everybody else does.
Not everybody else does. Some of us don't.
This woman has no problem jumping into the conversation.
I mean, even her hair. Did
You really
do
need
that?
to leave her alone. You really do.
Look, I'm a black woman, I understand.
But you're a rude black woman, so you probably need to be quiet.
You'll never be a real family.
And with that, she's off to complain to the manager. This next diner tries a calmer approach in dealing with Giselle.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff she's gonna have to deal with.
A whole lot of stuff we all having to deal with out here. A whole lot of stuff. If she wants to take care of her, she can take care of her. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
This couple listens patiently before disagreeing with Giselle's conclusion.
honestly, is this young child, she's gonna face some discriminations and some situations that her mom is not gonna be able to help her prepare for or know how to deal with.
And that's probably true. That's probably true because she's of who she is. But don't we want to mend that? Aren't we heading to get away from that?
And these two think Giselle is part of the problem.
When that little baby starts to deal with discrimination, what is she gonna do?
The only discrimination I see right now is from you. I want you to recognize that.
She's taking away our black children.
You know, she gave a home to a child from people who couldn't take care of her.
And then we learn why this issue hits so close to home.
Coming from a woman who can't have children, that is perfectly okay with me. Perfectly okay.
All day long, we see people willing to stand up for mother and daughter.
That child has a mom that loves her. It's none of your business.
While putting these women in their place.
You are such a rude...
We're rolling one last time.
Excuse me. Is that your kid?
Yes.
And Rachel is back at it.
So, is she adopted?
She is.
This grandfather watches intently.
I mean, you had an option. You didn't have to get a black child.
Guess not, no.
Trying to rescue the black babies?
With that, he joins in the conversation by sharing his own story.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have a black daughter also that's adopted. You know, some of your questions seem very offensive.
Did you choose to adopt a black
Absolutely.
baby?
There are all kinds of babies that need families.
But I just feel like they'll never be a real family. Do you feel like...
Absolutely, real family. You see, you seem to be very offensive between
I don't mean
racial.
to be I really
That's
don't
what it
mean
comes across as, ma'am. So why don't you just why don't you just button it because you're very offensive?
I don't mean to be offensive.
Well, then button it.
I'm sorry, I just didn't butt in because it seemed very offensive. I have a black daughter, and she's married to a black guy, and I've got 3 black grandchildren, and they're just a wonderful family. Your daughter's your daughter.
Yes.
Your kid's your kid.
Exactly.
Sure.
As he walks away, we're there to greet him.
I'm John Quinones. This is part of a TV show called What Would You Do?
I have seen your show before.
You were amazing. Tell us what you were thinking.
I just know there's too much racial prejudice in this world, and, you know, if someone's offensive, they need to be informed that they're offensive.
You adopted a black child?
Absolutely. She means just as much to me as anyone's daughter would mean to them. And I would go to the end of the world for her. Race becomes an issue only if you let it become an issue. And it does not need to be an issue. A child is a child. I don't care what color they are. And why should that make any determination as to how we act one towards another?